Yo, you know what time it is. My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 8, League of Villains versus UA Students. Appropriate title, because that's exactly what it is. And like I always say with My Hero Academia, it's not even a matter of me really nitpicking or getting into the nitty gritty. I'm gonna stand up here in the sun in Mexico City and tell you how dope it is. And this is another case of the exact same thing. Let's jump right in. The positive. Gigantomachia. Super scary, He's already OP, we know that, and I gained even a stronger sense of his OP-ness during this episode. They mentioned in the beginning he has 2 quirks, at least. One that takes morale from his teammates and adds it to his physical power, and another one that takes away his sensation of pain. I'm guessing he has more, like a lot more. He was already scary enough, but that freaked me out. This man has quirks? I thought he was just some sort of beast, I'm not really sure what I thought he was, but a quirk holder? Nah. I was actually going to go to a wiki and see what exactly his deal is. But the problem with going to wikis is that they give spoilers. I don't like spoilers. I did a whole video about nerd culture and spoilers and how spoilers are the cardinal sin of nerd culture. So, I avoided the wiki. But it kind of steered me in the direction of reading the manga, which I'm going to get into a little bit later. Okay. So they fight him. They're trying to get the anesthesia into his mouth. And like I said at the end of my last review, the students versus Gigantomachia, as soon as they put that matchup up, I was like, yo, good luck. And that's kind of how it turned out. They had some near misses, but ultimately, he kind of wrecked them. Plus, he had his teammates. He had the League of Villains on his back, literally. But my man Red Riot pulled it off. He climbed up Gigantomachia, had the hardened claws, and threw some anesthetic in his mouth. That was cool. Not really sure what it did. Actually, no, I am sure. It didn't do much. But he did it. After the whole episode, almost, my man Red Riot pulled it off. That was a great moment. Okay, so right after that, after they get the anesthetic in his mouth and think they're putting him to sleep, they start firing on him with artillery. They cut to the students, and they have actual artillery cannons there on the ground. From guess who? Yaoyorozu. I was like, yo, I already knew this chick was OP. I already knew that. She can take out, mechanized, heavy artillery. These are weapons from her body, just as a part of her quirk. I already knew she was OP, but I was like, oh, she's actually OP. And just to add insult to injury, they had 3 artillery cannons. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Actual artillery firing on this dude. She's OP. I mean, they pretty much said if she wants to pull a nuclear bomb out of her body or what have you, she's completely capable of doing that. As long as she knows, how it works, per se. Yeah, that chick is OP. Okay, moving on. So, Gigantomachia finally gets tired of the games. He's like, all right, I actually have to, sweat a little bit, and transforms. This man takes his jaw guard and, slides it over his eyes, and his nails grow, and then, some spines come out of his back, and I'm guessing he's even stronger. That was super scary, man. I thought for a second the spines were going to, fully curve around spider-style legs, which would have been extra creepy. Spiders are my least favorite creature on Earth. Anyone who really knows me knows that, but it would have added to his creepiness. But they just came out, pretty fair amount, and he just got ready to wreck. So, yeah, Gigantomachia was already scary enough, but this man has a legit transformation. So, again, to the students, good luck, because they're still fighting him in the next episode. Okay, so now we get to the last part of the episode, which is the marquee, the premiere part of the whole episode, for multiple different reasons, okay? This episode actually had an error in it. It's the first error I've seen this season, maybe in the whole series, maybe, but definitely this season, but I'm going to get to that in a little bit. For the good things, so as they left Shigaraki in the last episode, he's kind of on the ropes. He's got a lot going on. Eraserhead has taken away his quirks. He's fighting Deku now, who has One for All. I mean, he's going against the people that can actually do something to him. Not only that, he's dang near dead. They almost got rid of him. He's tired. A lot of stuff has happened. He got out of his transformation earlier. He's literally on the ropes. Gran Torino remarks, man, this dude, he's actually about to die. Now's the time. Aizawa, Eraserhead, remarks, deliver the finishing blow. The smartest quote in the whole series. Bless you, the whole episode. I was like, yeah. He's got the gas. Do what he says. While this dude is dazed, deliver the finishing blow. Let's go home and have some, some ramen, some soba. You know what I'm saying? A little sushi. Let's wrap this up. That's not what happened. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened in the rest of this episode. So on basically his deathbed, which no one thought was possible, but he's been through a lot. So Shigaraki's on the ropes. He starts delivering a speech. and they let him talk. I was watching the episode like, is this really happening? It was very My Hero like to add those like real TV elements in there, like someone gives a speech and they talk, or I hesitate for no reason, stuff like that. So when he started speaking, I was like, oh, Deku's about to just punch him in his chest, aka through his chest. Endeavor's gonna blow him up, hit him with the hell flame blast, whatever. It's game over. They're gonna let him do his speech. They sat there and let him do his entire speech, the whole thing. They let him do his villain speech. I was like, okay, now y'all are in trouble. So he does his whole speech. He gets through it. And of course that like revitalizes him. Endeavor's like, thanks for the break. That wasn't a break for y'all. That was a break for him. So he's still like 90% dead, but it gave, and plus he had his little memories. He's got his anime flashbacks. So he got some vitality back. It brought him back a little bit, but they let him do that whole speech. And I was like, wow. And then Endeavor even remarked, by saying thanks for the break, like they're conscious that they let him do the speech. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. But yeah, so he got his little powers back. Well, then they do a flashback. Gran Torino, actually. Shout out Gran Torino, because now he's an OG. He's like kind of short now, but he can still fight. He's one of the stronger fighters, actually, and he's really intelligent. But they did a flashback to the younger years. That man was tall and he was swole. Had the crew cut. Shout out Gran Torino. I see you out here. I was like, yo, this man's styling. That was tight. But possibly the biggest reveal of the episode, and what almost made me, I almost gave this episode a 5 out of 5. I really did. He was talking with Nana Shimura, the previous holder of One for All before All Might, and as we found out like 2 seasons ago, Shigaraki's grandmama, okay? So Shigaraki's deep in the game with the whole One for All for One cycle. His grandmother was a good guy, one of the best guys. She's the holder of One for All, so you're automatically the number one hero. Like, who's gonna top you? So we knew that, which is already still like mind-boggling. But then Nana Shimura, the OG One for All user, she was going to Gran Torino, who was tall and swole back then, and she was like, yo, I took care of the documents. No one knows I have a baby. This whole time I've known, we've all known Nana Shimura is Shigaraki's grandmama, which is just insane by itself. So obviously she has a baby, and that baby had Tamura, had Shigaraki. She was having the convo with Gran Torino. Gran Torino has the white hair like Shigaraki. His hair is like ice white now. It's like sun-shocked white. But it was, she's just kind of white. Same color as Gran Torino. Gran Torino is Shigaraki's grandpappy? Gran Torino is Shigaraki's grandfather? Yo. Gran Torino, some might say. I'm feeling the shock all over again. Because I was watching the episode, I was like, wait. What are they telling me right now? Oh, also shout out Gran Torino. I saw he was swole with the crew cut back then. He was tall. He made moves with Nana Shimura. I like that. Because Nana Shimura, she was holding it down back in the day too. That's dope. But the point is, Gran Torino had a baby with Nana? And that makes him Shigaraki's grandfather? Bro, that's why I like anime. That's why I like these shows. That's why I'm in the nerd culture. This is crazy stuff, bro. I think that's what I was trying to say, because the scene was kind of short, and they didn't come out and say it, but I was like, wait, why is she talking about the hidden documents about the baby with the homie by her side, but the side, and she, he put her arm around. I was like, Gran Torino had a baby with Nana. I'm crumbling my script. Cray. That's insane. And it also makes him Shigaraki's grip. Oh, nah, see. Okay, I could keep going. I could really get into that. Because of that reveal, and I think that's what it was saying, I almost gave this episode a 5 out of 5. I was like, they done took it too deep. Gran Torino is Shigaraki's grandfather. My man was flexing with Nana, like, yo, that's tight. Like, this is actually good. So I think that's what the point of that flashback was. But, they're going to reveal it. They're going to say it in plain English at some point. But just them showing that, I think that's the message we're supposed to take away. And it was insane. Just crazy. Oh, Shigaraki's grandfather? Flex with Nana? Yo, that's what's up. I like that. Okay, so I could stay on that all day, so let's move on. So now to I'm already at the marquee part of the episode, which is this last part. But now I'm going to get to the marquee of the marquee part, okay? So this is where Shigaraki's finally had enough, and he's like, yo, I realize if I'm going to fight y'all or do anything, I need to get rid of Aizawa, who's been holding me down this whole fight with the Eraser Court. not just a great quirk, it's like a top tier quirk, like S-list. You can just shut your quirk down by looking at you. I mean, we see what he's doing. Shigaraki, they dang near killed him. So it's like, I'm going to go after Aizawa. Very smart move. So it goes after him. The dragon hero Ryukyu stops in, and Shigaraki just forces his hand through her paw. It's so gross, but he's just that strong. They gave him that partial strength of All Might that's now in his DNA. So, he's about that life. He can do a little something, something. Not as much as a full power or even a 50% Deku, supposedly, which we're about to find out. But Shigaraki is more than enough for most individuals to handle. So when he starts putting his hand through Ryukyu's paw, which is gross, by the way, but, shows how powerful he was, Deku shows up. He's like, nope, not on my watch. And I'm like, yo, y'all know I cut for Deku. So I was super excited. Hits him with Black Whip. He's like, nah, I'm going to restrain you. And at this point, Endeavor was kind of sitting over on the side. They realized that he's going after Aizawa, but they're like, Ryukyu's here. Deku's got him restrained. He can't do anything. And he's like, yo, this is my chance. I can take him out the game. And this gets into what will be the only plot hole that I've seen in My Hero. Definitely the only plot. It was the main plot hole of this episode. But I can't really think of a specific plot hole in the whole series that matches up to what transpired in these next few seconds. So Deku charges up to 100% All for One. 100%. So you're talking about a character here that is as strong as All Might. Okay, he has the full power of One for All. And to some degree stronger because One for All gets stronger naturally when it's passed to another user. And then as they continue to use it or just live, that's what that's what we're led to understand so far. As long as it's in their body, the quirk itself just becomes stronger. Okay? So just from the time that he's had One for All, as long as he's using it at 100%, and just because he's had it, Deku is at least as strong as All Might and stronger. Okay. So he charges up to 100% full cowling, aka 100% One for All, which All Might used all the time. Deku's learning how to use it. That's his path. No problem. But at this moment, he accesses 100% full power. I was like, oh, he's about to turn Shigaraki to dust. Like, literally atomize him. It's a wrap. I was like, it's not really a kid's cartoon. It's an anime, but he's about to, like, rip this dude's head off and just call it a day. Easy money. It's good. Let's see what they do with the rest of the season. So he charges up to 100% All for One, which obviously got me extremely hyped at 5 a.m. with my coffee. Raises his arm, glowing blue, orange, and like light yellow. He's about to eradicate this dude. And he goes, he charges up the Wyoming Smash. I'm hype. Wyoming Smash, the large state, very, let me get back on topic. He charges up the Wyoming Smash, and I'm like, yo, Shigaraki, it's been real, man. Even if you've got 30 or 40 or even 50% of All Might strength, which he doesn't, probably around 30, which is insane. Maybe a little less than that. But he's strong enough to move himself around in the air just by touching the air, so take that for what it's worth. Even if you're at 50% of All Might strength, which he's not, if you get hit with the 100% One for All Smash, you're done. You're done. We saw what the United States of Smash did against All for One, who is far, 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 far superior to Shigaraki. So at this point, Shigaraki will probably get there because it's implied that he has All for One. But with all his quirks, his mastery, his intelligence, physical strength, he's nowhere near All for One when All Might used the United States of Smash and destroyed All for One. Dang near killed him, but that's beside the point. Shigaraki's not making it out of this, or so we thought. So he charges up the Wyoming Smash and lowers his arm. I was like, well, hey, what are they going to do with the rest of the season? It's a wrap. They cut away and then cut back, and then Shigaraki has Deku's arm like in his mouth, as to imply he caught the Wyoming Smash, which is whatever. But then, like, biting it, he's restraining. He caught it, in his mouth. So Deku was just about to knock his head off. Smart move. But Shigaraki stopped it. Almost threw my script away, but I have to go walk and get it. So, I'm just holding on to it. It's not possible. In layman's terms, it's just not possible. Like, what was that moment trying to imply? He caught 100% One for All, full strike, like, first, he caught it at all. Caught it in his mouth. He stopped it? That's like multiple nuclear bombs. I was like, what did I just watch? But it actually inspired something that I'm going to get into in a second. But I'm going to get to that in a second. So the episode pretty much wraps up. So somehow through the grace of whatever, some sort of demon, I guess, Shigaraki catches a 100% One for All strike in his mouth. He just stops it. Finishes moving his hand through Ryukyu's paw. Disgusting. But he has that deleter round made by Overhaul, who Deku essentially one-shot back in the day. 2 seasons ago? Season 3 seasons ago. And with his strength, Shigaraki can fire that deleter round like a gun, much stronger than any gun, actually. Flicks it, puts it straight into Aizawa, takes his quirk away. Okay? Now, they were already in trouble, but they kind of had a handle on it. But due to some plot reasons, they fumbled it. But they were doing okay. Now they had, once again, they have a real problem. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just drama. They're trying to, build some suspense. But in the next episode, they confirm Aizawa lost his quirk, for the time being, at least. Yeah, man, it was sad. I was 5 a.m. with the 2 coffees. Sad. I watch these to get hype. I know this is building, drama for the season. They have to do things like this. I get it. But, I was sad, man. I was a little toe up this morning. I had to get myself right. Because, once again, they're doing this for the show. But, yeah, it ended on, a little bummer. But they have to do this. So, Aizawa lost his quirk. Shigaraki came out of this round ahead through some sort of methods that we're not even sure about yet. And now, they have no way to stop his quirk. So yes, that pretty much brought the episode. No, that literally brought the episode to an end. Okay, so one more positive, just because it's worth, mentioning. When they were fighting Gigantomachia, it was cool because it took them multiple tries to get the anesthetic in him. It ended up not doing anything. I mean, this dude's as tall as, a skyscraper. I'm looking at a skyscraper right now. So it's okay, but they didn't give up. And the fact that they initially tried it, but he blew it with this super big wind strike and just blew all the anesthetic away. And then, the acid girl tried to get in and she almost did, but she went into spy shot because she had some flashbacks of Gigantomachia, actually. They failed, or they messed it up again. And then finally, Red Riot does it. So he pulls up, homegirl, the transform girl, throws a knife with startling speed and destroys one of the jars in his hand, but he has another jar and then ends up getting into his mouth, into Gigantomachia's mouth. That whole little that whole part was just so cool. It was really awesome because it's not easy to write something like that. They built the drama through the whole episode. They didn't go for the easy we got it. It was multiple fake outs. It was really good, highly enjoyable. I just had to throw that drama building through the Gigantomachia attempted anesthetizing scene into the positives because it was just super dope. Great writing. Let's move on. The room for improvements. Okay. The first room for improvement is that they listened to him talk in the speech. They listened to his speech. I got the eyes closed. That's how I'm going into the zone right now. Anime has to do certain conventions to make it what it is. Once you learn what they are, you can't unsee them. They'll hold certain panels just to people's faces and just hold that for several seconds. There's a reason why they do that. It's because, not to get too deep into it, but the budgets, especially back in the day, were kind of low. So they had to make the most of what they could from their animators and in their frames. So they would hold just frames of people's faces for longer. Or you'll see a face and just the mouth is moving. Anything to cut those costs. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, you won't be able to unsee these methods. And a lot of anime today, they don't really do that stuff anymore. Let's say Konosuba, or a lot of them are visually kind of out there anime. You've seen them. They really make use of their frames, and it's okay, they're just doing it. But in a lot of anime, they still do it. It's almost like a technique, a trope of the style. But then again, sometimes, especially if they have to fit it with the manga, they'll still do it to take out time. But this is one of those things. There are different anime techniques they use that are a part of the lineage of anime, and also to stretch out time. That listening to that speech, that wasn't no anime technique. That was like a plot error. You don't do that. There was no reason to do that. Deku could have eradicated him on the spot. They're listening to him talk. That's a room for improvement. Y'all ain't got to do all that. The second one was the plot hole with Shigaraki catching Deku's arm with 100% one for all full strike. What was that? But on that, and there's a bright side to this. That scene finally encouraged me to go ahead and read the manga. I'm going to start reading the My Hero manga. I've been saying that for a few weeks now. I need to get into the manga. I need to kind of see what's up. Maybe I should read the manga. I'm going to start reading the manga. No, I'm actually going to start. Because that scene was so bizarre that it led me to think that there's something that happened that, not even that I don't understand, that wasn't put into the anime properly. There's some sort of extra element that made that scene possible that wasn't clear in the anime, and I need to go see what happened. So I'm going to start reading the manga. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so we're finally out here. I'm reading the My Hero manga. I'm getting back into reading manga in general. Yeah, man. I'm about to power up Crunchyroll. It's like $1 a month, $1.99 a month for unlimited access to all anime. Not Crunchyroll, Viz Media, Viz.com, Shonen Jump. So there was definitely a bright side to come out of this. Now on to the rating. This episode gets a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Despite the clear grievances I brought up in the previous section, it really was a great episode. Those two things, they made me wonder, but at least I'm going to start reading the manga now. The manga. So that's good. It almost got a 5 mainly for that Shimura reveal. That was crazy. Cray. Gran Torino had a kid with Nana, potentially. I think that's what that scene was trying to tell us. Bro, My Hero was good for that. Like I said, one of the key elements of the entire show is action, got the quirks, the animation, so on and so forth. But there's this subplot of mystery that runs through the entire show. Like, I don't know if the writers intentionally did that or that was, just how it turned out because of the nature of the show. But it's just awesome. And here's another mystery. So it's like the scene didn't really say too much. Verbally, there was no narration. You had to pick up on what was going on. I love that. So that was a super great element. And it almost gave the show this episode a 5 out of 5. But they backtracked on that with listening to Shigaraki's speech and that Deku plot hole. Catching 100% all for one strike? One for all strike? Come on, man. So yeah, but overall, great episode, a solid 4 out of 5. And that's it. That's it. My Hero, always on top of the game. Be ready for next week, the next review. It's heating up, man. It's heating up. I'm gonna start reading the manga, get deeper into it, and get the second look, or some would say, no, actually the true look at what's going on with the series. But stay tuned for next week's review. I'm gonna have that for you. Okay, just did a video, top 10 video games. Super excited about that. I go over the top 10 video games of all time, man. Video games, obviously pivotal to nerd culture. So what are you gonna do with that video games? I got y'all on that. See if some of your picks align with mine. I think my list is solid, but check it out. Watch it for yourself. Legos. I love Legos. They're great. Legos are a fundamental element of nerd culture. Bless you. And my last video was on the Mandalorian Starfighter, a great set, bigger than it looks in person, bigger than it looks on the box, and bigger than it looks on Amazon. Highly recommended. Check out that video. And I have another great Lego set for y'all coming soon. Black Panther, the legendary film. Black Panther did what it was supposed to do, man. It did what it was supposed to do and then some. It's the best Marvel film, that's for sure. And it's dang near 3 hours long, but it was worth every minute. A great movie. Check out my review. I'm not going to tell you the rating, that's a spoiler, but highly recommended. Go see that film. And that's it. That's all I got for y'all. Mexico City. Y'all see me out here. It's cold, now it's a little warm, but it's on top of a mountain, closer to the sun. I was going to say technically, no literally, so that's cool. And that's it. As I always say, because I genuinely mean it, and I'm serious about this, stay up. Never want to be this way in life. See, my voice crack, that's how serious I am. You always want to be up, so stay up. And until the next one, which will be soon, peace.